a kind of claim. Now, I believe in a little bit more of an Indian approach, a balanced approach. And earlier today, I spoke to the remarkable tech genius Sridhar Vembu, founder of Zoho Corporation, who we are very proud of, who offered a more grounded view. He acknowledged disruption, and I'm going to be playing out this. He acknowledged disruption, but he emphasized more on adaptation. Now, Sridhar Vembu is the founder of Zoho, homegrown company, hundreds of millions of customers, CRM, finance, workplace tools, all increasingly powered by AI. He was humble enough to say,
from Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
From your smartphones to your big screens, trending stories are making it everywhere. And in case you were wondering what is it that you've forgotten, don't worry, we here have got you covered. I'm Gesu Bharadwaj and this is what is trending tonight. Now, the first story that we're bringing for you is how protests have erupted against the Congress. The Congress has fallen for a trap over its shameless behavior at the Bharat Mandapam yesterday. The second big story that we're talking about is the SpaceX Falcon 9 launch with over 25 satellites now sent into the space. The Herculean task and what this means going forward for the space industry. Also, we have covered you for the monkey punch. His sweet little story about how emotions transcend from not just people but also animals. Viewers, now what began as a disruption at the Global AI Summit has now escalated into a nationwide political showdown. A day after the Indian Youth Congress workers staged a shirtless protest inside Delhi's Bharat Mandapam, the BJP hit the streets across multiple cities, calling the act a national embarrassment. From Delhi to Mumbai, Jaipur to Jammu, party workers held demonstrations, waved placards and demanded an apology from the Congress leadership, accusing the protest of tarnishing India's global image during a high-profile international event. With arrests made, clashes reported in some cities, and both sides digging in the AI summit row has quickly turned into a full-blown political battle over national pride, protest and perception. Viewers, now SpaceX has successfully launched a Falcon 9 rocket carrying 25 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. Lifting off from Vandenberg Space Force Base, all 24 satellites were deployed successfully, expanding SpaceX's global internet network and marking another milestone in rapid, reusable spaceflight. With live streams, stunning visuals and pinpoint precision, the Starlink constellation continues to grow, one midnight launch at a time. Now this one here is for sure going to melt your hearts. From loneliness to global love, a baby monkey in Japan is melting hearts and taking over the internet. Punch is a 6-month-old orphaned macaque who found comfort in a stuffed toy after being rejected by his mother. Videos of the tiny monkey dragging, cuddling and clinging to his plush Ora Mama have raked up millions of views, turning him into a symbol of resilience and healing. But the story took an emotional turn when clips showed him struggling to fit into his troop, even being dragged by an adult monkey, sparking outrage. But the zoo has since clarified this is normal social behavior. From memes to fan art and donations, Little Punch has become a global icon of hope, proving even the smallest stories can bring the world together. Joining us live is Professor Meva Singh, a senior wildlife biologist who has a specialization in primatology, behavioral ecology and conservation biology. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic. What I want to understand is, how do we explain this connection, this sort of, sympathy, the love, the empathy that the monkey would feel while being betrayed by his own family? There's this sort of like a plushie that this monkey has managed to cling to. How do you think these emotions work so similarly in humans as well as in animals?
Yeah, this is actually nothing surprising. This is a very usual thing in monkeys. You see, there was a theory in psychology long time ago that the infants develop emotional bonds with the mother because the mother gives them food or gives the nourishment. So way back there was a psychologist called Harry Harlow at University of Wisconsin in US. He conducted a series of experiments on monkeys. He isolated these infant monkeys from their mothers, and they were raised in total social isolation. What he did was that he made two wire mesh surrogate mothers. One was just a wire mesh, the another was a wire mesh with a soft cloth. Now the monkey infant who was alone, he or she always preferred the one which was with a soft cloth, even when the food bottle is given on the other one, which was a wire mesh. So what he started explaining at that time, Professor Harlow, that it is not simply the nourishment the mother gives, it is the physical comfort, the touch, the hug. See, that is what leads to the emotional bonds. So this theory has been known for 70, 80 years to us in animal behavior and in the psychology.
Yeah.
And this interpretation is purely human anthropomorphism. Actually, the monkey is finding something very soft to cling on to, and it's a sort of a surrogate mother. It's people who are seeing, because people seeing it, another orangutan, that the monkey is seeing another monkey, another ape as a mother. Anything soft food like that would have done the same way, like it was done on a wire mesh mother in Harlow's experiments.
Yeah. Professor Meva, in fact, also I want to know the other take on this entire story is the isolation of the monkey, the little punch that's being highlighted. What do you have to say about that? The fact that it can cling to a plushie but not really mingle with, other monkeys inside the zoo.
You see, this isolation are several kinds of things. Way back in 1973, there was Professor S.D. Singh at Meerut University in UP, and I worked with him. That's where I started my wildlife research. Actually, we raised these monkeys near Dehradun in Shivalik Hills, what is today known as Rajaji Sanctuary. So we had actually in the forest, we had put some small cages up in different trees, and we had infant monkeys raised in total social isolation. Then we also had monkeys raised in peer groups, age groups of 6 each, where there were no adults. And then we also had monkeys raised with only the mother and the infant, but no age mates. And then we were also observing monkey infants in their natural groups. So in natural groups, the natural behaviors evolve. Then we were comparing how much the monkey is losing when the monkey is totally socially isolated, when the monkey is deprived of adults, but is there with the age mates, what we call the peers, and when the monkey is with the mother, but is deprived of the age mates. So all these things lead to different kinds of, the deficits in behavior as adults. Now this monkey, for example, this punch in Japanese macaques, this is rejected by the mother. In all probability, the mother was born in captivity. Most of these monkeys which are born in captivity, they develop a lot of abnormal behaviors, and one of them is also rejection of their infants. So this development of emotional bonds through comfort, through touch is one thing. This social isolation leading to a lot of deprivations in normal behavior is another thing. And human perception of this is totally a different story. That we want to see whatever, we think the monkeys are thinking the same way as we do.
Yeah. Professor Meva, just last question before we bid you a goodbye on the show. But what can you draw out from this entire incident? The uncanny similarity between humans, how they feel, and monkeys. And like you said, we've known this for 70 to 80 years now, long decades, that these two are functionally and emotionally quite similar. But what's your take on this?
Yeah, see, these emotional bonds have evolutionary perspective. Everything we must see, everything in biology or in psychology makes sense only if we see it in the perspective of evolution. So all these things, why we conduct studies on monkeys? Because they are taxonomically close relatives of humans, and whatever we do, it has its what we call the phylogenetic antecedents. It is seen somewhere in the animal world, but more things keep adding at different levels of evolution. So all these emotions that the humans have, it is nothing unique to humans. It is all there in the animal world. It is there, in some animals it takes a little time to develop. In some animals it is instinctive, that it just develops at the time of birth itself. In higher animals like monkeys and apes, it develops because they have a process of socialization, a process of learning. So it is similar kind of emotions like humans, but there could be something a little extra in humans because of the extra, brain development and our cognitive development. But otherwise, the antecedents are the same as in the monkeys.
Right, Professor Meva, thank you very much for speaking to Republic and taking out time.
Pleasure speaking to you.
Yes, thank you. Viewers, now shifting focus. Did we vow to not let you miss out on even one trending story that we see? So here's a wrap of everything that's making the charts tonight. The Indian Air Force hosted a grand multi-day air show in Jaipur featuring its elite Suryakiran aerobatic team and the Sarang helicopter display team. The performances were held over the iconic Jal Mahal at Mansagar Lake. The event began with a major aerial display on the 20th of February and will conclude with a final show on the 22nd of February, drawing spectators to witness precision formations and aerobatic maneuvers. From code to celebrity moments, a Google employee just lived every techie's dream. She called her meet with Sundar Pichai a corporate fangirl moment unlocked. The Gurgaon office encounter went viral, proving even in Silicon Valley culture, starstruck is still a universal language. Actor Alexandra Daddario and producer Andrew Form have separated after 3 years of marriage. The couple, who married in 2022 and share a 15-month-old son, say they will continue to co-parent their child. From sold-out stadiums to a free show for fans, Shakira is turning gratitude into a mega concert at Mexico City's iconic Zocalo. This March, as the pop star will perform a free concert at Mexico City. After record-breaking ticket sales, the Shakira pop star says it's her way of giving back the love to her audience. Priyanka Chopra back at turning heads on the Bluff press tour with bold experimental fashion. Her latest look, featuring braids and a pirate core style, is being talked about as a standout high fashion moment. Team India's dressing room was full of laughter ahead of the T20 World Cup match against South Africa. Abhishek Sharma's light-hearted pep talk left coach Gautam Gambhir and teammates smiling, showing a relaxed and confident squad. Rumours of Rashmika Mandanna and Vijay Deverakonda's wedding have gained momentum online, with reports suggesting a 26th February ceremony in Udaipur, and a subtle response from Rashmika has further fueled speculation. All eyes on Ahmedabad as Team India puts in an intense training session at the Narendra Modi Stadium ahead of their crucial Super 8 clash against South Africa. With fitness drills, net practice and match simulations in full swing, the men in blue look focused and match ready for Sunday's high-stakes T20 World Cup showdown. A video of two boats colliding near the Dhari Devi temple in Uttarakhand has gone viral, where passengers were seen jumping into the Alaknanda river, sparking concerns about boating safety in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up this edition tonight, here's a glimpse of steel, strategy and shared strength. High in the hills of Himachal, India and United States are set to come together for exercise Vajra Prahar 2026, an elite special forces engagement that goes beyond drills, building trust, interoperability and a shared resolve to tackle modern security challenges. From 23rd of February to the 15th of March at Baklo in Himachal Pradesh, the world will witness two democracies training shoulder to shoulder, sharpening skills, exchanging tactical information, and forging a partnership rooted in courage and cooperation. We'll take your leave. Till then, keep watching Trending every night at 7:30 p.m.
राहुल जी जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि वो आप गलत कह रहे हैं। राहुल जी जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं। भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ। और राहुल जी जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आप गलत कह रहे हैं, गलत आर्टिकल का हवाला दे रहे हैं, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा कर रहे हो। जनरल नरवणे ने कहा है कि आपने अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला दिया है, भारत की जमीन पर कब्जा नहीं हुआ है। राहुल जी आपने गलत कहा था, जनरल नरवणे ने कहा कि अज्ञात सूत्रों का हवाला।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है?
अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years. And then he says something as prophetic as all jobs will disappear in 50 years. Now, this is not an offhand remark. Vinod Khosla is the founder of Khosla Ventures, established 2004, deep investments in AI, sustainability, medicine, and other technologies. He was also an early backer of OpenAI, and he made a lot of money there. In other words, he's not a casual observer. He's deeply invested financially and ideologically in an AI-driven future. So it is possible that he's used overstatement to make a point that also suits his overall business interests. But you see, the atmosphere is already volatile. Just 5 days ago, TCS shares fell to 5.5-year low. TCS just collapsed. And across India's IT corridors, there is a growing paranoia. Will automation hollow out all services? Will AI wipe out all jobs? Are entry-level jobs all at risk? So when a prominent AI investor like Khosla says that IT and BPO sector will disappear, it amplifies that panic. Khosla is a futurist. He's an
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Brazilian President Lula da Silva held high-level talks in New Delhi today, focusing on trade, critical minerals, rare earths and strategic economic partnerships. President Lula is on a state visit to India with a large delegation of ministers and business leaders. Take a look at everything that unfolded in the bilateral.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Brazilian President Lula da Silva held high-level talks in New Delhi today. The day began with a ceremonial welcome for President Lula at Rashtrapati Bhavan, where he was accorded a guard of honor. He was received by Prime Minister Modi and President Draupadi Murmu. Later, the two leaders met at Hyderabad House for bilateral discussions, while President Lula also met External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. President Lula's visit is seen as a boost to economic and industrial cooperation between India and Brazil. Discussions focused on trade, critical minerals, clean energy, and strategic supply chains. Meanwhile, speaking to the press, Prime Minister Modi hailed the ties with Brazil and spoke extensively about the shared purpose of both the nations.
ब्राजील लैटिन अमेरिका में भारत का सबसे बड़ा ट्रेड पार्टनर है। हम आने वाले 5 वर्षों में द्विपक्षीय व्यापार को $20 बिलियन के भी आगे ले जाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। भारत मर्कोसूर ट्रेड समझौते के विस्तार से हमारा आर्थिक सहयोग और सुदृढ़ होगा। टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन के क्षेत्र में हमारा सहयोग दोनों देशों के साथ साथ पूरे ग्लोबल साउथ के लिए महत्व रखता है।
On the other hand, Brazil President Lula da Silva also lauded the friendship he shares with Prime Minister Modi and mentioned the details of the crucial talks aiming at shared progress.
A reason of happiness for me to return to this country for the 6th time. The meeting between India and Brazil is a meeting of superlatives. We are not just the two biggest democracies of the global south. This is a meeting of the world's pharmacy with the world's barn.
Both leaders also signed an MOU on critical minerals, securing long-term resources and strengthening bilateral trade, which crossed $15 billion in 2025. President Lula arrived with the largest ever delegation, including 11 cabinet ministers and over 300 business leaders, among them 50 CEOs. A Brazilian business forum is underway, exploring partnerships in aviation, manufacturing and technology. The visit comes amid India's push to reduce dependence on China for rare earths and critical minerals, while deepening ties with resource-rich nations. Leaders are aiming to increase bilateral trade to $20 billion by 2030. India and Brazil share a warm, close and multifaceted strategic partnership, rooted in shared democratic values, close people-to-people ties and expanding cooperation across key sectors. The Modi-Lula summit marks a historic step in India-Brazil relations, strengthening trade, industrial collaboration and strategic partnerships between two of the world's leading emerging economies.
The US Supreme Court has struck down President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs, dealing a major blow to a central pillar of his economic agenda. In a landmark ruling, the court said the president exceeded his authority under a 1977 law and the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Trump has called the decision disgraceful and has also hinted at a backup plan. Here's more to the story. Take a look.
Delivering a major setback, the Supreme Court ruled that President Donald Trump exceeded his authority in imposing sweeping tariffs under emergency powers. The decision strikes at the heart of what had been a central plank of Donald Trump's economic strategy. The court held that the aggressive tariff measures violated the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA. President Donald Trump addressed reporters hours after the Supreme Court struck down his emergency tariffs. Reacting sharply, Donald Trump described the ruling as disgraceful.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Trump accused some justices of siding against American interests.
They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement.
He announced a new 10% global tariffs under Section 122.
My relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped a war between India and Pakistan, as you know. There were 10 planes we shot down. That war was going, and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives by getting them to stop. And I did it largely with tariffs. I said, look, you're going to fight, that's fine, but you're not going to do business with the United States, and you're going to pay a 200% tariff, each country. And they called up and they said, we have made peace.
The opinion was authored by Chief Justice John Roberts and backed by 3 liberal justices and 2 conservative colleagues. In the ruling, Roberts wrote that the president had asserted extraordinary unilateral power to impose tariffs of unlimited scope and duration. Further, Trump claimed his tariff policy prevented global tensions, including between India and Pakistan.
Nothing changes?
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. So deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually. But he was much smarter than the people that he was against in terms of the United States. He was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now. And we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
Praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Trump stated India-US trade deal will continue to be the same. The verdict marks a rare setback for the Trump administration before a Supreme Court that holds a 6-3 conservative majority. With fresh tariffs now on the table, the battle over trade policy appears far from over, setting the stage for another legal and political showdown.
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
The AI summit is on. The focus is even more on AI, and with this talk of AI boom, jobs going, Vinod Khosla has made a comment which has created further panic in a panic-stricken environment. In my view, not necessary. He's a well-known tech billionaire and venture capitalist. He says IT and BPO services will completely disappear over the next 5 years.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching live and breaking on Republic with me, Mitra. Let's quickly cut across to headlines we're tracking for you at this hour. Stalin government under scanner after multiple scams.